October 2nd, 2014. Uncle Dave and DC's Adventures back out at the survival property for season 3. Glad you're all here to join me. I got to spend the day putting that tarp on the canvas tent a little bit better and staking the tent down a little bit better. When I got here last night, we got here kind of late and we just put it up so we could get in it. It was also raining on and off as it usually is here in Maine. That should be coming to an end because if you can see the trees in back of you here, it is fall in Maine. Oh yeah, look at that one. The next couple days I'm going to be cutting a couple dry standing trees down. I've got a new 30-inch backhoe saw that is pretty sweet. I got a couple different blades, a blade for dry wood and a blade for greenwood. I used it last night and tested it out. It's really good, and pretty soon here I'll pull it out and show you guys, do a quick little review in this series. We're going to cut wood. We're also going to take the floor out from the canvas tent in the next couple days, and we're going to take all kinds of gravel from the river and try to fill in the floor so it's more even, because it's been really uneven in there these first couple seasons. So I'm going to put down a floor with gravel, and that way if when the snow's melting this winter off of the tent, it won't gather underneath the tent. There'll be some gravel for drainage. But right now I'm going to go get some water from the river and get a bathroom set up and start my day here. So October 1st was yesterday. Guess that was day 1, even though we got here kind of late. And October 2nd, day 2. It was a nice night last night. A lot of coyotes out. You could hear them howling and making noise all through the woods last night. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon here and get back to you with something interesting. Alright, there it is. It's a Baco Ergo Force, and yes, sadly it was made in Portugal, which I'm disappointed. It would have been nice if it was from the Swedes like they usually are. But this is the 23, a 30-inch Baco saw, bow saw. It has this plastic handle here, which is the most questionable feature of it. I ordered it from Amazon. It cost me about $24, and this is the 23 model, which means it came originally with this blade on it, which is for greenwood. You know, it has like 3 spikes and then a weird spike and 3 spikes and a weird spike. That's for cutting through green fresh wood. And the blade I have on it, I ordered another blade for $10.50, I think, and there's free shipping on that stuff with that order. And that's what the blade looks like for the dry wood. It pretty much just points all the way through, and they're bent in opposite directions. Works pretty good. This is the wood I just collected from off the railroad tracks. This has been like kind of in the way of the railroad tracks, so I wanted to clear it out over there for the state. It's all dry wood, dry oak, which is great because that's what I need to be burning. I'm going to be breaking out the wood stove pretty soon here because it's definitely going to be getting cold. It is fall. These leaves will be falling over the next 2 weeks. I'm going to maybe set up the camera. I don't know if I'm just going to let it roll or maybe I'll do a time lapse, and I'm going to show you how well this saw cuts through this wood. You got a lot more length than I did on my 21-inch Sven saw, and it definitely cuts a lot faster. It's going to be much more of an enjoyment to cut the wood up. So I'll set the camera up and show you how well this beast works. Guess we'll start off with one of these. Not too thick. taking me forever with that Sven saw. Probably be using WD-40 with this dry blade and this dry oak. Keep it from heating up, but if you take long strokes with this 30-incher and let it cool down every once in a while, then it won't get that hot. Yeah, you don't want it to get hot because it'll lose its temperament on the tip of the blade. With the point saw, you can see that it's a different color. That's where they heat it way up red hot and then quenched it in oil to make them harder, so they'll keep their sharpness longer. Well, you get the point. It cuts pretty good. I'll turn on the time lapse for a little while so you guys can see me process that whole pile that I brought in. And yeah, pretty good saw. Definitely gonna make life a lot easier than using that Sven saw all the time, 21-inch saw. That's a great saw for backpacking and for convenience, but yeah, you don't want to be processing as much wood as I have to out here. I also bought another one of these dry blades. So once you start losing the color and the temperament there, it's you're losing the strength in the blade, and you might need to get a new one usually then. And once this one starts getting a little worn, the teeth on these don't look like they're really bent to opposite sides quite enough, so I might do that over, reset the teeth on this thing, but that's not happening right now, so I'll see you guys later. Alright, well, you get the point. I still have to cut that up, but I'll spare you. I don't want to waste all the battery and all the memory on this on the first day out. So I'll see you guys on day 3. Alright, October 3rd, 2014. I guess this would be day 3. DC's Adventures Off the Grid Experiment 2014. We're back out here. It's fall, as you guys know. This is what I'm having for dinner. It's a little bit of rice with some sauce. Sitting by the fire, and man, I'll tell you, I've been cutting a lot of wood. And I've been doing it all with that saw. And it goes to the wood pretty good. A little bit of an exercise, but yeah, it's not bad. I just try to take it easy, really long strokes, and try not to heat up the blade. And hopefully it lasts a while. I think I'm going to try to set the teeth on it a little bit better, because they're barely set, and they actually look like they're getting even worse. So eventually I'm going to try to set those. I've never done that before though, so we'll see how it goes. I have a backup blade. That's the dry blade, and I got 2 of those. I've been using it for some wetwood too, and it actually cuts through wetwood really damn good too. I was surprised. So dinner, day 3, hanging out by the fire. I'll probably just hang out and chill by the fire until 8 or 9 and go to bed. Not going to be doing much more today. Well, I have those 2 right there. I'm going to cut up into 10 to 18 inch pieces and stack them right over there. So do a little bit more cutting. That thing tears right through really big logs. I'm pretty psyched. Works good. It's going to be a good firewood maker. October 4th, day 4th. I got 2 potatoes on there, roasting on the fire, but oh, it looks like the thing that was on top of them just rolled off. I guess we'll fix that real quick. And there's the potatoes. I don't know if I mentioned, I actually am carving all of my silverware every day. Not just for training, but because somehow I managed to bring no silverware. All the plastic spoons I have, and that titanium spoon I have, and somehow, I don't know where they ended up, but they didn't end up in all my equipment. So I have no choice but to carve all of my silverware. But I'm going to take a picture every single day of what I end up coming up with. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them, just 5 or 6 minutes. This one I just pounded out with the axe, and now I'm going to clean it up with my knife. Eat some potatoes with it. But yeah, somehow I ended up out here with no silverware at all. But by the end of this, I'll be good at carving up a quick utensil. So day 4, not much going on. It rained all night and half of the day. So I've just been fortifying, putting this tarp up. I got the tarp really tight over the canvas tent, so it should be all set. It's definitely can handle heavy rain, and definitely on its way to handling heavy snow. I'm going to put the wood stoves in that black plastic bag there. I'm going to install that in there tonight. So if we have another couple rainy days, it'll get really cold, and I'll be glad I set it up. Well, it's not raining, so I'll see you guys, soon. Well, that's what it looks like. That's the utensil for day 4. Only took me, probably like 7 or 8 minutes. Should work good for potatoes. Baked potatoes with a little butter on it. Oh yeah! Alright, October 5th, 2014, day 5. Just getting the canvas tent all organized in here. Got a little stash of super dry wood so I can start a fire whenever, because it's still raining. Rained all night last night. Wasn't that cold, but you can see I still don't have the wood stove in here. We're going to put that in here. We're going to go get the wood stove and put that in here right now, because in the morning, man, it's nice to have a fire inside. But got the fire going out here. Warmed myself right up this morning. It's probably only about 43 degrees or something when I woke up. It wasn't that cold. I wasn't cold at all in the sleeping bag last night. It's just when you get up and get going, it's kind of hard when it's cold out, you know. It's easier when you got a fire right next to you. You can light and then get warm inside the cabin before you get out. Doing Dave Canterbury style. We're heating up some water so I can have some hot cocoa this morning, and I'll probably use the remainder of the hot water for a little bit of oatmeal. Gonna cut some more dry wood today. I'm gonna try to double the size of that pile, double what we did the other day. And the sun is coming out now, so the rain has stopped. So we should have a good day at work today. Sharpen the axe later today or tonight, and I'll show you how we do that. I don't think I've showed you guys how to sharpen an axe yet, so we're gonna go over that. Keeping your tools really sharp is very important. It'll prevent a lot of injuries. Haul up some sand. We're gonna start hauling up that sand and putting it down in the floor in there, underneath the floor, so I have a little better drainage when winter comes. Because when winter comes, this cabin here will just be full blown with the wood stove, and that heat's gonna obviously make all the snow melt around us, and we don't want it flowing underneath the tent and gathering under the tent. So if we put a little gravel down, that'll prevent that from happening. Well, I'm going to enjoy a cup of hot cocoa, get warmed up, maybe some oatmeal, and I'll see y'all later. How's that for a potato cooking stove? Just lift the latch right here. Convertible stove. Probably leave that up for a second. I'm sure it's been pretty hot in there with that down. Yeah, it's still hot enough with it open. I think it burns better when it's down, though. Yeah. It's always a good way to make a little oven. Burn out a log until it's halfway burnt, and then you can prop it up on a rock, and that usually makes a pretty good oven. Day 5's potato eating utensil. Made it with the SK and the axe in about 3 minutes. Morning of day 6, October 6, 2014. That tree is just yellow. All the leaves are about to fall off it, though. It was cold this morning. I still hadn't put the wood stove in there, and man, I woke up freezing. It was really cold. I don't have a thermometer, and the ground wasn't frozen, so I'm guessing it was about, I don't know, 40 degrees or something when I woke up today. Maybe 42 at the very most. I came out here, got a good fire going, drank some hot cocoa, and ate some oatmeal, and warmed up. Now I'm getting ready to start the day. The sun's coming up over there. It's making all these trees that are changing really light up. Alright, see you later in the day. Alright. Sometime afternoon on day 6 still. I just got all of my wood together. I just collected that. I was just hanging off some oak tree, so I chopped it up, and it's all pretty punky on the outside, but nice and dry and hard on the inside. It's all oak. So I got the stove in the tent, but I haven't finished completely setting it up. I'm going to wait to put the last pipes and stuff on after it gets dark tonight, or starts getting dark right before I go in. But that should be enough wood for tonight for a quick fire and a small fire tomorrow. But I figured, since we haven't taken a walk, we would take a quick little stroll down to the river and see what it looks like. As if you've seen this series, the first one was in spring, the second one was during summer, and this is fall. and this one is probably going to go fall into the beginning of winter, or maybe just fall if I leave in November sometime. Oh, there goes a chickmunk. I don't know if you guys can see him. He's little. He ran by. Try to clear all the leaves off of the trail. Here we are, down at the river. I don't know if you guys can see it, but on the banking where these usually sand is just pretty much all just colored leaves. It's a bend coming down. The floodland here has like some tall ferns. It's kind of tall grass, and there are a couple grouse hanging out in there. I saw one of them fly out the other day, but you know, I don't know. We'll see. Grouse are kind of small, and I've only seen one. Seems like one in the same area, just moving around. I don't know. Maybe we'll shoot one if there's more than one around. We'll see. Day 6. Just ate lunch. Or kind of supper. This is the utensil we made today. It's pretty crude. I did it in about 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes. But I ate pasta, angel hair, with some sauce, white sauce on it. It worked good. It served its purpose. Now into the fire. No dishes, except for the dang pot. Hate cleaning that thing. Well, I guess that's what I'm gonna go do. Day 7, Season 3. Alright. Well, it's day 7. I got up early this morning and went on a little hike/hunt. And didn't see anything. Tomorrow, if the weather's better, I'm gonna try to hike all the way down to these ponds that are supposed to be down, way down. It's a couple miles away. But, yeah, as soon as I got out this morning, it started misting, and I didn't feel like hiking in the rain, so I came back here and lit the stove up, and it's running pretty good. I've got it on a slant, so the back of it's a little higher than the front, so you don't get so much smoke when you open it up to put wood in. And it's not really smoky in here. It's pretty good, and it's hot. It's a finicky stove, but heats this place up. I mean, it's really hot in here. And yeah, so it's just a crappy day sitting in tent. Day 7. Hopefully day 8's a little bit better. I was hoping to go for a long hike today. I woke up nice and early at like 6 in the morning, and yeah, as soon as I got out, it started raining. Bummer. Day 7's rice eating tool. Just a piece of kindling, and the end is smoothed. Should work great. Day 8, I think. I was just out here thinking of how crazy amazing it is that even though I can hear the road in the distance, which is annoying, that I have all this land that has a river. I got the canvas tent with a stove in it and a couple cots, my Grand Force Brooks axe, my Baco saw, and a cooler, a 3 or 4 gallon pot for boiling water, a lantern, and a backup tent with tarp and stuff, just in case there's a fire or something. And I got all this for way under, maybe in the scheme of things under $5,000, but definitely under $10,000. Got a canoe down there, and then all you gotta do is pay your taxes, you know? Which, it's like you can sell horses that you carve out of wood somewhere to get the couple $100 that you're gonna need for taxes on a property like this every year. So if you want to move out into the woods, live off the grid, not pay rent anymore, it should be pretty easy. You're just going to have to probably live where the road hasn't been developed. You're going to, have things to deal with, like I have the railroad tracks right here on one of my borders of my property. So, eventually they'll run the train again out here and I'll have to deal with that. But, pretty cheap. You can be living out there on your own like a free man or a woman or family, and being free, like hardcore free, American free. And you just pay the government the property tax. So that sounds fair to me. Oh, yeah. Living off the grid. Think about it. And it was day 9, not day 8. Time flies when you're having fun. Day 10. It's like 3 in the afternoon. I just got finished. I was working on the driveway all day, the right-of-way, trying to get the rest of those trees cleared that I couldn't do with my smaller saw. This big saw just rips right through everything. Just put a little muscle into it, you pull right through it. Got some B&M baked beans, some maple with some sausages, cut up sausages in there. Using my new frying pan, psyched. Got all this dry wood I hauled up from the right-of-way when I was clearing it today. So I got to cut all that up into firewood. But yeah, day 10, things are going good. The trees have almost lost all their leaves. October 10th. And yeah, it's pretty nice out here. I've been enjoying myself a lot. It's been very relaxing. I just cut wood, relax, cut wood, relax, cut wood, relax. Wake up tomorrow and repeat. Day 11. Sun's coming through. It's early morning. You can see the print of the leaves falling in the pine trees on the other side of the canvas tent wall. Cold this morning. Probably about 40 degrees. I woke up. Got the wood stove going. Still drying the laundry we washed in the bucket yesterday over the wood stove. Gonna get up here and chop some wood. Pretty much what I do every day is spend half my day cutting wood and the other half doing other stuff. And dig that giant hole too for the toilet, for the winter toilet. Because during the winter I'm probably gonna have to use a regular outhouse, because if I use a bucket with water in it and you pour it in the hole, I mean, the water's not gonna drain, it's just gonna freeze, and eventually you're gonna have a giant hole full of poopsicles, frozen poopsicles, big giant pile of them. And you have to wait for spring for it all to thaw and drain through. In order to do that, I'd have to have a really big hole, but I'm just going to put a hole up, put a board on it, put a hole in it, and put the bucket and toilet on it. And we'll just use an outhouse for the winter. Mighty cold out there this winter. Outhouse is going to be miserable. I'll see you later. Well, it's about 3 in the afternoon on October 14th, day 14, season 3. I got some baked beans boiling in the pan there, and a loaf of bannock baking down there, which will be done pretty quick here. I haven't been building or anything. I've just been working on getting that right-of-way done, and the right-of-way has about 1 more day left of work, and it'll pretty much be passable. So I finally got that done. It's a lot of road. It's about 500, 600 feet of roadway I had to cut out of raw wilderness. So now that we're done with that, though, I'll be psyched and get the town over here, get me an address on this property. Should be sweet. So I'll see you in the next couple days. Day 15. Misting out. I was trying to cut the rest of these trees up into firewood and clean up the property. I've been cutting all the stumps down from up here where we're going to be doing the build eventually here. So I'm processing all these logs, all these pretty much just trees that we cut down in spring, cutting them into firewood, the ones that are thick enough, and then all the ones that are straight enough I'm keeping to the side for bushcraft and bush shelter building. And we got a stack of 9-foot logs there. Anything that's straight, thick, and 9 feet long I'm cutting down and putting over there for building a small shack later on, or a shed that we'll be using out here, store stuff during the winters. And just cutting off all the stumps. Like I said, you see all the stumps here and there, one there, one there. They're all over the place. I've been cutting them all the way from the driveway all the way back. And now I'm pretty much got the driveway cleared of all the stumps I can do without a chainsaw. And there's a couple big stumps that I'm going to need my buddy to come down with a chainsaw or something, try to get them out. And yeah, just cutting wood. Every day cutting wood. Day 15. The changeover is full bloom though. We got only about 3 or 4 more days before all the trees fall and all the leaves fall from the trees. And yeah, nice colors though. Even the oak leaves are about to change. And yeah, this tree right here was our nice maple tree that was really orange when we got here, but it has no leaves now. The maples have pretty much dropped all their leaves. You can see a couple of yellow maple leaves over there, but in general we've lost all of our leaves here for maple, for the nice colored ones, and the oak leaves are going. And once the oak leaves go, those are pretty much the last of the leaves. The white oak is the last one to pretty much shake off its leaves for the year. The birch tree still has a little bit of little yellow leaves. Those will be down the next couple days too. So yeah, fall. It was here. Now it's gone. Here in the next couple days, something I am trying to get in to this season, I'm just working hard on cutting this road out and cutting this driveway and getting everything ready so in spring we can start building this cabin. But we are going to build a buck saw out of some wood and show you how you can just carry a bow saw blade with you for survival. And when you get out in the bush, use your knife and the saw blade to craft a buck saw frame up and put that bow saw to work for you. Season 3, DC's Adventures Off the Grid Experiment, fall, in Maine, 31 days in a canvas tent. Might be even 61 days this time because hunting season's in November. Speaking of hunting season, I've been out hunting partridge, trying to track one of these down. I know they're in the area, and this morning I wake up, I step out the cabin, the first thing I see fly right past me is a partridge. Flies right by my head. Like it flew close enough I could have definitely thrown a rock at it. And so I grabbed the shotgun and went out in the woods and tried hunting him down. Because I have no meat out here, and I've just been eating bread and rice pretty much, and potatoes for days, and sometimes I'll throw some pasta in there. But yeah, it'd be nice to get some meat at this point. But I couldn't find him. It was only seconds later I went and hunted him down, and I don't know, he just kept on flying, I guess. Yeah, something I sit out here and I've been spending a lot of time thinking about lately is these trees, these birch trees here. I mean, the bark, you see it's this white color, and it's pretty thin. When you peel it off, it looks like this, really thin, and you can peel it off in layers, and little inside layers are kind of a pinkish color. This stuff is necessity. I mean, this is, in the Maine wilderness at least, it's wet here a lot. It's hard to get a fire going, and this bark will always light. If you have a lighter, it will always light when it's wet. And if you put a bunch of this bark under wet wood, it will dry the wood out. So you can get a fire going in any situation with birch bark. This stuff, you can take your knife and scrape it against it and make it really light and fluffy, and it will take a spark from a ferrocerium rod, even when it's wet. This stuff is the best. The thing is we have these other trees here, which I don't know if you can see them here. It's right there, and I don't know if you can see from here, but the bark on them, the bark up towards the top of the tree looks just like the birch bark. It's white and looks just the same. But towards the bottom of the tree, it is more like a regular bark. Alright? And it's called a popple tree. And the leaves look exactly like they do on a birch tree too, with little differences. Not much. They're pretty much the same shape and same color and everything like that, but they the birch tree has some more points, kind of pointed tips on the leaf than the popple does. So I don't know what the genus difference is in these two trees, but they look a lot alike in so many ways, except for the popple grows singly, one at a time, and grow long and tall. You know, I don't know how tall that is, but like 30, 50 feet tall. The birch tree grows in groups, in little clusters, and grows maybe 30 feet tall, 25, 30 feet tall, and slanted. They don't grow straight, they grow off to the side like they're about to fall over, and eventually they die standing. They never fall over, they die standing, and they rot very slowly because of all the oil. The reason why they burn so well is because the birch bark contains a lot of oil, and that's why it's good for drying out wood too, because the oil means it doesn't burn at, you know, regular temperatures. I think regular wood burns at like, you know, 800 to 1200 degrees or something. Well, this oil that's in the birch bark, that flame is about a 1200 degree flame, which makes it really hot and easy to light other wood. That's why I love the birch. You gotta have birch. And I keep the birch standing at my property well after they're dead. I slowly use all the birch bark off of them, and then I cut them out and then take them out of here. But the birch bark stays more oily if you leave it sitting on the ground too. You leave it standing like this cluster here. These all used to have bark on them, but this is what I use for fire. And now this one I'll use for fire, and then I'll cut them all down at the base and get rid of it. And then this is one of the sister plants that fell or grew off from that cluster when it was dying. That's that they usually grow off to each other's clusters as they die. So the plant kind of lives on forever. So the oak trees do that too. So you get clusters of the oak trees. But that's what I've been thinking about as far as the popples and the, birch tree goes. They look so much alike. They must have a lot of familiar genetic traits. Afternoon on day 15, and putting a little Swedish stove together. I'm probably going to put some material in this, some birch bark, and then put coals on top of it to get it started. Cook pasta on that tonight. And now that's a Swedish fire stove. They also work good for long-term torches. They'll just get coals in the middle. The flame won't stay like that the whole time, but if there's a good breeze it will. And at night they can light a little pathway if you wanted to. You can use smaller logs too, but it's just a log split into 4. You put the fire in the middle. I'm going to go get a pot of water, put it on there, boil up some pasta. And there you have it. Pasta boiling and almost done on the Swedish fire stove. Easy to set up. Mother Nature has brought the flies back to remind me. With the flies came the warm weather, and just for a couple days in October it feels like summer again, which is weird because it was freezing cold just 2 days ago. Always weird weather in Maine, but the flies are here. I think it's because I was complaining about it being cold, and it wasn't even that cold yet. So Mother Nature was like, well, it could be warm with all kinds of bugs and flies and mosquitoes again. We don't want that. I'd rather it get cold. Bring the freeze on. October 15th, 2014. Day 16, and I just fired up the stove and looked over and noticed this little guy. It's like a newt or a salamander. He's like, whoa, what the hell? Like, what is this human doing? But once this stove gets hot over here, he's not going to want to be in here, so I'm going to have to put him outside. But it's raining and pouring, so maybe he doesn't want to be outside right now, but oh well. Day 17, and I found this little guy. He had crawled into the hole I pour my poop bucket in every day. Poor little guy. So I hauled him out with a shovel, very gently. He's a spotted salamander. He's cool. He's not too particularly happy. Cool little guy though. There's other salamanders in there too. There's a black one and a couple red ones, like the one I saw yesterday, and a bunch of frogs. So I scooped them all out of there so they don't have to sit in there. Alright, still day 17. It's almost night actually. The sun's going down right now. And I spent the day helping the neighbor that lives down the railroad tracks a little ways. A retired teacher and her husband. I helped them mow their 4 or 5 acre property with an awesome riding lawnmower that they had. It was super easy. It was a lot of fun. I haven't used one of those riding tractor lawnmowers on a nice property like that. But got done with the job. She let me charge the camera up at she let me charge the iPad 2 up in her house when I was doing the roadway, and look what she gave me for my services. There's a Corona in there too. There's 2 beers, a Shipyard Pumpkin Ale, which is awesome, and 2 Sea Dogs. She gave me a frozen filet mignon steak, I don't know, 7 or 8 ounces, and a can of baked beans. Now that's what I'm talking about, bartering with the neighbors. That's how you do it. I haven't had a steak the entire time I've been out here. There's like the Amish store up the street, they don't sell any fresh meat, and they usually don't even have much for frozen meat. They didn't have any last time I went in there. So there's really nowhere to get meat if you're not hunting it. And I know my vegan friends will say I can go without, but it's just hard. You really need the protein, especially I'm trying to build some muscle up and get back into better shape. When you're cutting wood by hand all day, you really need some protein. I know my high carb friends are going to disagree with that, but yeah, day 17. See you guys. And just remember, this is coming from a guy who was a vegetarian for about 7.5 years, and I was vegan for the first 6 months of that. And it was good. My body felt really healthy and everything, but I'd rather feel a little unhealthy and have some back pain and have a bunch of muscle and a thicker build. I couldn't keep weight on when I was a vegetarian, and I was part of a co-op, and they had vegan and vegetarian everything you could ever think of, so I ate well. There was a place right down the street that I paid to be part of a club where they had great vegetarian food, so I ate really good, and I ate beans and lentils and had everything put in, and still I'm 6'3", so it was hard for me to keep muscle on. And yeah, as soon as I went back to meat, I started putting the muscle right back on. I put fat on too if you're not working out, but when you're exercising with it, you just put muscle on. And I don't know, it was hard being a vegetarian and trying to keep muscle mass up. Morning of day 18. So, let's talk fire for a second here, alright? See this? This was one of those logs. I split it all up, took my axe out, split it all up, lit it with a piece of birch bark. Now, if you're lighting your fire multiple times, you suck at building a fire. Alright, you should only light your fire once. As soon as only one match or one lighter flick, and it should be started. And it should go so well from the beginning that you go straight to a hotbed of coals and you can put as much wood on it as you want after that, alright? The Indians have a saying. They say, white man makes fire with too much smoke. White man's problem is too big a wood for too little fire. So, if you're one of the guys out there, and we're not talking about with a ferro rod or rubbing 2 sticks together, if you can't start a fire the first time with a lighter, it's because you're putting wood that's too big for your fire on your fire before it's ready. This was one log, a fairly small log that I split up into hundreds of little pieces, and that's how you get a good fire. And look at this. See how that's flaming up? I just lit this only a minute ago. One little piece of birch bark in there at the bottom. Lit that, put it under it, built the teepee around it. I started the fire first. I didn't build the teepee and then put the fire under it. You can, but I think you should just light your fire, whatever you're lighting, you light your small fire and then add bigger twigs all the way up until you get to log-sized material. If I was doing this with just natural brush and not a log, I would have put the birch bark down, and then I probably would have grabbed all those small little branches that are on these pine trees all around me, the bottom dried branches that have no bark on them, they're really dry. You put a big pile of those on this, and then you move up to some sticks a little bit bigger, maybe some hardwood that you find on the ground that's dry and dead. Move up in sticks and keep on moving up the sticks until your sticks are big enough that you can put a log on it. But what you're trying to do here is build a coal base. The flame isn't what you're looking for. The flame isn't, although the flame is hot and it's going to warm you up quick if you're freezing to death and your hands are frostbitten. What you're trying to do is you're trying to build a good coal base, because that's what's going to keep you really hot, and that's what's going to keep you warm, the space around the fire warm. The flame's just going to put off heat right at the flame. The coals will put ambient heat all around, so multiple people can sit next to the fire and be warm. So something to consider if you guys find yourself lighting the fire multiple times. It's probably because you have too big of wood for too little fire. Think about it. Oh yeah, there we go. This is the really good stuff. See? That's a birch. That's a birch tree. It's not. They get a lot thicker than this. They can get pretty big. They can get pretty big. They can get like twice the size of this easily, and they get even flakier. But this flaky stuff's what you want. And you know, the survival experts on TV, you see them pick this stuff up when they're in the boreal forest. Survivor Man, Les Strauss there, he really, I think, really understands the importance of this, but I don't think none of them stress it really enough. If you're in boreal forest, you're in the thick northern bush, fire is going to be your number one concern, and this stuff really works miracles. If you have a knife on you and you have some of this, it's going to make starting a fire so much easier. Even if you're doing a friction fire, having that scraped up and in your bundle is going to make that bundle light and burn so much faster and hotter. And yeah, I prefer not to take it off of the trees though, if you don't have to. Yeah, on my property I have a stand of them, because you know, when this whole area right here burned back in 1949, and when it did, a lot of the hardwood grew in pretty hard here, and the pine trees are coming back now, and I'm cutting a lot of the hardwood out for firewood, and we'll keep all the birch trees though for sure. And I'm processing all the dead birch trees and using the bark off of those, and then we'll get those out of here, and then we'll have a pine forest again. That's how it should be here. Good morning, day 19. It's probably about 45, 46 degrees. I gotta get a thermometer. I'll get one next time the neighbor runs to Walmart. I'll have them get me a thermometer to hang out on the tree here. But hey, if you don't want to go through all the trouble of cooking bannock, once you got the stove going, man, having a frying pan is the bomb. And you can boil water in a frying pan. It actually boils quicker than when you have it in a regular pot, because it's spread out over the heat. But the same Bisquick that I use for bannock, I just add a little water, same thing. Put them in a little bit of oil. I try to keep vegetable oil and olive oil at camp all the time. It comes in handy and it lasts a real long time. Gotta flip these, so I'll be right back after I flip them. Oh yeah, that looks good. Flipped. They're only gonna need a couple seconds on this side, but there you go. I don't put any. I don't have any butter or anything like that anymore, because I haven't been keeping the cooler going. I haven't been going to the store, so it's been 18 days. So I went through that butter I came with already. So we just have flapjacks, pancakes, or whatever it is everybody calls them. And I've been putting I've been doing the Dave Canterbury, Canterbury, yeah. And drinking hot cocoa in the mornings or sometimes at night, depending on how cold it is. And if you sprinkle a little hot cocoa mix on these flapjacks, oh yeah, makes them nice and chocolatey and delicious. So makes a good snack at night when you want something sweet too. There we go. Breakfast. It's done. There we go. Breakfast of champions. A little hot cocoa. It's flapjacks with some hot cocoa mix on them. Booyah! More classic number one. Keep everything nice and shaved up. So before I cooked the pancakes, I went over to the usual dumping hole, and that large winter composting hole I made had collected more salamanders. There's another black with yellow spots, and two, they're like purplish blue color with blue spots, light blue spots, and then there's a couple of these little red things, and the red things are, looks like salamander too. It might be a newt, but I don't think so. There was a newt in there, but he was being such a little turd. I have to pull him out with a shovel, and I don't want to hurt him, so I try to get the sand around him, and he's so fast, he just like zipped away. And yeah, I got all these guys out though, because I don't want to pour the turd on top of them. So I got them all out, and I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to go put them. Somewhere down by the river, I guess. But I think they're looking for deep holes. I think that's why they keep climbing in there. They're looking for deep holes that are below the frost level. So I don't know. I was thinking I could put them over here at the entrance to the old foxhole, because that definitely is below the frost level. But then something will probably crawl in there and just eat them all. And I think the yellow spotted ones are actually maybe considered rare, but they can't be that rare because I've seen two different ones now. So they're all cool. That little guy, he wants out. Climbing all around. Oh, there he goes. I warmed them up inside because they were already in like kind of hibernation state, really cold. So I warmed him up, and now look, he's ready to travel. He's going to realize he's just going in circles eventually here, passing the same guys each time. So I'm going to go find somewhere to put him. Alright, little buddy, get going. The swamp's right in front of you if you want to go there, or whatever. Come on now. Let's go. You want it out. You're right there. Hey, buddies. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, it's a race. Who can get to the swamp first? On your mark, get set, go! Okay, this is gonna take forever. We don't have memory for this. Alright, there's a couple more in here. Oh, there you are, buddy. Now these two little ones will just walk out at some point. Oh, he's off. The third guy's in the lead. He's already disappeared under a leaf. Oh. He decided not to go to the swamp. The second guy. Oh. There he goes. But the yellow spotted guy is not moving. And then there's still that guy in there, and another one in there somewhere. But the two blue ones have pretty much hidden themselves. Come on. We'll just hide him so he doesn't get picked up by some bird or something. He's right in there. You can see his little head Right there. Well, I don't know. Yeah, those two guys. Where are they? Right there. Alright, see y'all later. Don't go back to the turd hole. Day 20. More flapjacks. Look at this sweet spoon I've been making. Serving spoon. Pretty deep hole in it. Not exactly how I wanted it to look, but it's starting to shape up to what I want. Just a big serving spoon, so when I need to get stuff out of jars and whatnot, I'm not getting my knuckles all dirty still. But day 20, and today we might conquer how to make a buck saw. Maybe tomorrow, but I don't know, we'll see. If it looks like the rain's gonna hold off, then we'll go out there and cut the wood, and I'll show you guys how to make a buck saw to put your bow saw blade into. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about this. I don't make long videos of me carving a spoon. That would be ridiculous. Take forever. But this is about what it looked like before. Right? That makes sense. But it didn't actually look like this. Because when I carve a spoon, I start out with a piece of wood like this. And not only because I'm not skilled enough to not lose lots of material, I gotta start big so the spoon comes out the right size. But I also like to be able to hold the stick way far back, so when I begin carving something like a spoon, you start with your axe. You don't start with your knife, you start with your axe. So I go at it with my axe, and when I have it this long, I can really go at it, don't have to worry about my hands being down there anywhere. And then once I get it fine-tuned, I'll even keep it this long until I've worked it with the knife for a while and I get it close to where I want it. And then I take the saw and cut it off of the long stick. And then clean up the back end of it. But everything's almost done except for that back end that's still attached to the long stick. And when you do that, you have all this extra area to hold it. You can put it in your armpit and hold it out in front of you with your hand. It's like you have all this extra room, and you don't have to worry about slicing your hand open with your axe, or even your knife for that matter, because I do a lot of my knife work with it still attached to the stick. And then when it's darn close to being where I want it, I take the bow saw, cut it off from the stick, and then finish it up real quick with the, more classic real quick, and then sand it down. But, something to think about if you're working on small little spoons and, small little projects you're carving, you can keep it on the stick. You don't have to cut it down to where the size is going to be. You can carve it with the whole stick behind it still, and then cut it off afterwards, down the line. And when you're trying to take off a lot of material, you're struggling, you don't want to have a small area you're working with. You want to have that big, long stick attached to it. But yeah, going forever about that. Safety, safety. Well, that sucks. I just went to pick this thing up to look at it, and there's a crack in it from drying. I left it out in the sun today, and it dried and cracked right at the bowl. That sucks. Well, I guess I'm going to have to start with a piece of dry oak. I have a bunch of dry oak here, so I have to work on spoon number 2. Day 22. It's rained all night, all day, yesterday. It sucks. But today, there's another group of salamanders in the dumping hole. And I think that's a newt on the top there, the red one. He is pretty active. He's ready to get going somewhere else. Not in this bucket. But there's a lot in there. There's 4 or 5 blue spotted salamander, 1 yellow spotted salamander, and that little newt. He wants out. Watch this, he'll come right out. Newt. They're all just laying in a cluster. But it was raining last night. I also woke up with one in the tent, a yellow spotted salamander. And when I got up and went to the bathroom real quick, when I came back, couldn't find him anywhere. So I don't know if he's in the tent or if he climbed out or what, but they're pretty fast. They're not that fast, but they do move. The little red guy was climbing out. I thought he was gonna come out this end. I guess not. Oh, there goes one of them. See you, guy. Now we gotta find another place to release another one. Far away from the dumping hole. Oh, there goes one. Ah, he already dived off. He was so quick. And then you got this guy. That little newt. That guy. Try not to step on any of them. And then this one. These ones are really little. They look like snakes, but with legs. They're pretty cool. This is the newt guy. I've conquered the giant spotted salamander. And his friend. Try not to step on that guy. Alright, little guy, let's see how fast you are. And he's off. A little bit of a drop off the canoe when they get to the edge, but that's okay. It's home free after that. Getting tired, I guess. You can see there's a big edge there. He's not sure how it's gonna go, but I'm pretty sure he knows there's an edge there. He sees the leaf litter. It's far. He's sticky. His legs are pretty sticky. Sticky enough he can walk vertically. He's almost vertical now. Nope. Ah! He's okay. Alright. He's going under the canoe. Now what about you guys? Aren't you guys ready to get going? Come on. Boring. Day 24. It has been raining for 4 days straight. 3.5. Started about 3.5 days ago. The river is very overflowing down there. I don't know if you can see it down the trail there. Yeah, just trying to collect enough dry wood to stay dry in there. Canvas tent living. It's always a bummer being out in the woods when it's raining for days on end. Day 28. But now I'm ready to eat these beans. And I want to try to avoid ruining my knife trying to open this can because I don't have a can opener. And I'm gonna try to do something that I know it works. When I used to teach urban survival classes, this is something we used to teach, and I know it works on cement, and we'll see if it will work. There's this piece of granite coming out next to this tree here, and we'll see if it works here. I may, if it's taken a long time, I may stop the camera because due to the weather, it's really hard getting this solar charger here to keep the camera's battery very much charged. So it could cut out. But the trick is we're going to put it down at the top on the rock and rub. Yeah, I see something happening there. I'll be right back. Alright. I ground it down. You can see right there on the stone I lost some sauce, but that gray stuff underneath is all the metal that was worn off. Hold on, let me open it. And there we go. Just rubbed it on the stone. You can see there I lost a little sauce on the stone, and all that gray metallic looking stuff is the part of the can that I wore off with the rock. And you just wear an edge. You wear an edge there, and it's the whole top of the can pops right off. But now we're gonna eat a cold can of beans in the rain. It's November 2nd. It's day 33. I'm sitting out here. I'm sorry I haven't made recordings. I started doing the bow saw video for how to make a buck saw out of stuff you can find out in the wilderness with just bringing the blade with you, but I just don't have the memory on this thing right now. It's like 30 days is really all I can get before I use the memory. It's only got 8 gigs on it, but got the Scandinavian forest axe, probably my favorite tool out of my whole collection, and a piece of white oak that I've been making all the handles for some ferro rods. And maybe you'll see one of these up. I'm going to put one of them up in a giveaway here pretty quick. I carved the handles and then epoxy them on. But yeah, I'm sitting out here. It's cold. It's not, you don't see it right now, but just like probably 20 minutes ago it was had a light snow coming down, and I'm looking around and it's like, look at this place. You guys remember what this looked like when we got here? You guys remember what it looked like in August? The seasons have changed again. It's like, started snowing a little bit, everything's dead, there's no leaves on any of the trees anymore. It's like, it's official. The seasons have changed. Season 3 is now pretty much over. I mean, I guess we still have another month of fall. But out in the woods, man, I guess there's a couple leaves here and there on the small trees. All the big ones definitely lost all their leaves. So I've got to go back to the mainland and go and visit a computer with the internet, and we'll upload this season 3 fall 31 plus days in a canvas tent in Maine. I spend all my time cutting wood. I'm sorry I didn't make more videos about building stuff, but yeah, I'm learning how hard it is to actually go through the seasons. And let me tell you, without a chainsaw, I think it probably would be pretty much impossible for me to have enough wood out here to keep this canvas tent heated. Because that saw we got, the backhoe, it works great, but it just doesn't, you can't cut enough wood. You can't cut enough wood by hand to keep your fire going. I mean, if I cut for 3 or 4 hours with that bow saw until my arm just can't take it anymore every day, that's just about enough wood to burn until about 2 in the morning. And then you're in the sleeping bag the whole time. And when it gets 10 below here, which it will for at least a month or 2 out of the year this year, you're not going to be able to do that. I'll probably only by hand be able to cut wood for about 5 hours of burning. You'll have to keep that thing pumped. So sadly, I'm probably going to have to break in. You're going to see a chainsaw. I'm going to have to buy one, and there's going to be a chainsaw on the property. But the most important news of season 3, which I almost forgot, let it slip by me, is the off-the-grid project is working great. The neighbor, only 200 yards from where we're standing right now, there's a cabin that's leaning and about to fall over, and I'll show you some video right here of it. There it is. It's leaning quite a bit, and it's not safe to really go in it, but that's all kinds of stuff from the 70s. I think it was sometime in the 70s my neighbor bought it from, it used to be a Girl Scout camp, and it was located up the road, and some guys moved it on a trailer. And she bought it for her kids to use as like a playhouse and a hangout place in high school and stuff. She's had it for like 30 years, but the wood on the outside's in pretty rough shape, but the wood on the inside's great, and it has a metal roof on it that's still in good shape. And this, with about $1,000 worth of plywood, I'd say I can probably build a pretty nice building. So there we go. Alright, and they told me I could reclaim the building. So I'm going to reclaim all the wood. As soon as spring comes and the melt starts happening, the snow starts leaving, I'm going to go and reclaim that building, pull it all apart, piece by piece, and then rebuild a smaller 16 by 16 cabin here on the property. I'll probably only need about $1,000 worth of supplies plus all the wood from that cabin. It's going to be the cheapest way to put up the breakdown. Okay, well, Uncle Dave here. Thanks for joining me. I know it was a long video. Sorry I didn't get that buck saw made up. I also, I've decided that I'm going to make a separate video on how to sharpen an axe, and I'll post that within the next week. Again, thanks for joining me. Thanks for taking the time. If you could rate, subscribe, comment, and hey, sharing this would help me a great deal. Enjoy your day. get out there and do some hiking, get out into the woods, live a green lifestyle, and take care of yourself.